Here we go. Welcome to Coffee with Coaches. Yeah, we're talking about inspiration, and it's not about cheerleading. If you think inspiration is all cheerleading, guess what? You're missing out if you don't understand that inspiration is a strategic, intentional tool, really powerful tool to create change.
What if you don't want to change?
That's a good one, Shannon. That's a good one.
I may be a coach.
I know.
But I think a lot of people think, why do I want to change? Why would I want to change? Things are going well.
Comfortable here where I'm at. Why do something? Well, okay, here we go right away with some brain science.
Good.
The brain needs activation. It needs stimulus. If we're not activating the brain, it actually will kind of like we think we're fine, and then we get in this rut. And if you're not stimulating, there's no novelty, nothing. Our Believe it or not, and that's lots of research out there, some of our neural connection will kind of flatten and die, and we end up not feeling happy. It will happen that our health might be just what's the word?
Declining.
Declining. Thank you, declining. I do the hand.
Just sign language.
Sign language. Just go with it.
Okay.
We need change. We need change. And because the brain, to stay alive and to function really well, we need to change. Now, we might be sometimes in a situation where change feels really hard because of what happened to us. And nobody says it needs to be big, bold changes all the time. But
But let me ask you.
Yeah.
In a rut. Have you ever been in that rut where you're like, because I have.
Yeah, but I don't know if mine was really rut. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Heike Fallon.
Oh, hello.
Hello, I'm Heike Fallon. I am a personal high performance coach. I help my clients optimize their self-leadership holistically. That means really from a brain-based perspective, the brain, body, and your environment all interact. And if you want to really thrive and feel your best self, show up as your best self, and live healthy and happy and ever after, so to speak. That's what I do.
Wow,
and everything
great
has
promise.
everybody wants that fairy tale. So I'll bring it.
Well, hello. I'm Shannon Passalacqua. I too am a coach, and I specialize in helping women after they've been through miscarriages and teaching them how to get out of that grief and how to live their best life afterwards.
Yeah, and have I been in a rut? I have been definitely challenged with some health issues in the past, and that has impacted a lot of my normal daily life. It compromised it quite a bit, to the point where I was just trying to survive the next day, figure out how am I going to manage the next day, having small kids at the time, and it wasn't very inspiring. It was just
No,
and I was in an absolute survival mode.
Yeah.
And when we're in a survival mode, we can't be performing, and it's very hard to think on both things. But when we are in this survival mode, and if we inspire ourselves or let others inspire us, or actually we inspire others, which can inspire ourselves, we can change out of this survival mode. And one huge component, because I did all the things, because the problem in my case was the doctors didn't know what to do. So I did a lot of research. I implemented a lot of things. I did a lot of exercise. I changed a lot of things from diet and this and that. I did all that. But honestly, and worked on sleep and you name it. I checked all the boxes, and I was still having a hard time getting out of this survival mode. And it wasn't until I started being exposed to high performance coaching, got my own coach, and actually worked again on having a vision, had worked on goals, like other than trying to survive tomorrow, like actually looking further beyond it again. I had literally lost the skill of seeing beyond of what's in the
Yeah.
survival stage.
Yes.
And that outside inspiration, and it was challenging at first. I'm like, I can't think what I want in 3 years.
Mhm.
Envision your life in 3 years.
Mhm.
I'm like, I couldn't
Just
think.
get out of bed would be nice.
I was just trying to envision how my day goes today. But once I started really digging into that, having my own coach, working really hard on those type of
Mhm.
perspectives, it was inspiring. And it really shifted, because you
Mhm.
find you align again with your purpose, and you're starting to have a different mission again, especially when you're in that rut where you think you don't want to change, or you want to change and you just don't know how.
Right. So I went through something very similar, and I've read twice now, where I was a teacher, and I was a special ed teacher, and I loved it, and then I felt like I was in a rut where I was just doing the same thing every single day, and da da da. Um, and I remember asking myself, I remember having this conversation actually with my dad as well, like, is this all there is? Like, this is it? I just wake up in the morning, go to work, come home. This is my life. And it wasn't until my miscarriages that I was just in deep in the grief that I had lost myself. And it was when I started getting coached and started seeing that there's something else out there. And I used my pain to help other people. And that's what got me out of the rut. And the same thing has happened just recently, where my hormones were off, and I could hardly get out of bed, and I wasn't feeling like myself. Turns out it's because I was going through perimenopause, and I figured out some tools that helped me. And now I'm using that inspiration to just to talk to friends and have these conversations again. And that to me is like, okay, that's what I love. I love, one, figuring it out on myself, and then using that to help other people.
Yeah, and I think that is a huge one when we're talking about becoming or self-inspiring. One tool is to really dig deeper on our why.
Yeah.
Like, and it's okay if you don't know your why, if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know your mission right now, but start thinking about it. Again, that's what we do as coaches. We work with our clients through gaining more clarity of what their whys is, and what
Who
their
they are.
who they are and what they want, what makes them
Mhm.
happy, what makes them unhappy, what do they want to. And it's not always huge achievements in like professional life,
No.
but what would you love, like what makes you
How do
happy,
you want to feel?
how do
How do
you
you just
want to
want to feel?
how do you want to feel, and really going deeper in exploring that, I think, is a foundation.
Mhm.
It's a foundation to, yeah, how do I envision that, with feeling and goals come into play too. Goals and dreams, I say, and it's okay to sometimes dream a little bigger. I know there's always controversy if you dream too big, but if you dream too low,
Yeah.
you're not pushing
Well, there's there's some data out there that says, we stop dreaming when we're kids. And I think that's really sad,
yeah.
because we're taught to, we have to be, you know, systematic or whatever it is, realistic. We don't dream, because let yourself dream.
That's just a dream.
Right, exactly.
That's
Well,
just
what's wrong
that's
with
just
that? Just
yeah.
let yourself dream, let it go, like daydream, see what happens, and take if you don't have to get from here to there, but you can, make see what part of that dream that you want, that you really like, and take go, work, reach towards those different aspects of that dream.
I know, I love that you said that, because at the end of the day, it's your mindset. Your
Mhm.
mindset of,
Isn't it always?
yeah, it's that mindset. It's all in here, what we do. Connected with our feelings though, but yeah, in embracing some challenge, and again, the brain needs activation. So even having certain dreams and putting them out there, and even if in the moment you go like, yeah, that's not going to happen, shift your mindset. And like you said,
Mhm.
keep that open mind. Think of it more with a growth mindset. And I love, we always say, start with small little steps. Go and
Mhm.
think of like, what could be one step that would bring me closer to that? What could I do today, this week, that would bring me a little closer to that dream or that goal that I have? Because if we look at the big end picture, oftentimes we feel,
Right.
well, just go back and like, yeah, have that, but then break it down and create small little steps that you can do. And if you get there or not get there and what time frame, it doesn't matter. But it
Well,
is,
and it may change. I
and it
mean,
may
when I
change,
when I
absolutely.
first started this, I had huge dreams, huge goals, and they were great to strive for, right? And now I'm like, I don't need all that.
Yep.
These are the things I want to do. This is how I want to feel. These are and that's what helps me, you know, accomplish what I accomplish. I think one of the ways that a mindset that I use is how do I want to be, how can I be a role model today? And
Yep.
that's how do I live like that? Okay, well, how do I want to be a role model for my children? How do I want to be a role model for the women who I work with? You know, how do I want to inspire them and show them that it is possible to live with grief and happiness, and how, you can find a different way after you've been through the grief. You can find who you are after the grief.
Yeah. Role modeling, hands down, is one of the best way to inspire others. Because if we role model what our values are, our beliefs are, and our vision, our dreams, if we role model that, that
Mhm.
alone inspires others. So it's a key component. So, and we got to be mindful with our role modeling. One big thing about role modeling, we role model all the time, the good and the bad.
But
So
I think that's good. Sometimes we do
yeah,
need to role model the bad, and
yeah,
not everything is perfect.
not everything is perfect, but we got to be aware of that. Role modeling, it can be extremely inspiring, and we have to also be mindful. I'm like, hey, when we role model, was that inspiring? Was that in alignment how I want to show up? And we need to reflect, and that's another component, reflecting and looking and again digging deeper on, how do I want to show up, how do I want to serve or be as a role model, and did I do that, or is there something, hey, you know
Right.
what, that didn't go so well, let me think about it, how could I have done that a little differently, and intentionally show up next time in similar situations differently, so you're more inspiring than you may have shown up. So
But you can't do that unless you really know what your values are. And we talk about
yeah,
this all the time. And it's one of the first things that I work with my women is, what are your values? Because if you don't know what your values are, you're just going to keep going like this, and you're going to be all over the place. You need to know what's important to you and how to live authentically. Because if you're not living authentically,
yep,
if
one
you're
hundred.
not being true to yourself, people know.
Yep, you're not role modeling cohesively or in
Hmm.
congruence with your value.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
shows, and that's what comes back to trust. Because if you want to inspire, you need to also build trust with yourself and trust with others. And
And we have a great video about trust if you want to
yep,
link that, and look at that, because you have to be able to trust yourself.
got to trust yourself first. And with that also, if we want to inspire others, it's also very important to create an environment that is safe and
Inspirational.
inspirational and with trust in there. Like, so if you have a team or a group or your family, whatever it be, in whatever situation you're in, you want to have and when I'm saying create a space in the physical environment is important, yes,
Yeah.
but it's also important that there's space for others to be creative, space for others to be vulnerable as well, space for others to do the same thing, so it becomes really more interactive, and trusting others that they will also show up, and role model, and that it's really intertwined with the trust and inspiration.
I love that. I love it. Reminds me to let my kids be them. So.
Yes, it is something for sure, because little brain science here again, we all want to feel that things are in control, that there's no chaos, right? Because our brain predicts what's going to happen next, and the more feels like things are in control, but sometimes we turn into maybe controlling too much, and that's when we will not be inspiring, because we're not leaving enough space for others to explore, and let them think and create and do things. And to be inspiring, we need to give a little space. And yeah, that's something, again, we need to be more aware of. We need to pay attention and take a moment sometimes. And that's why it's so important to not go and do your schedule, but taking moments where you just check in with yourself. I know we've said journaling so many times.
Like for someone who recommends journaling all the time, I used to hate journaling. It was just like, I'm like, that's so lame. But like, it is truly helpful.
Yep.
And just taking a few moments to yourself every day, or just giving yourself that space to stop and think, and okay, is this, reevaluate. Am I going is this still where I want to go? Am I doing what I want to do? Am I being who I want to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point why I created a whole community where those prompts are there on a regular basis, because it's not something you do once and not at
Right.
all again.
Right.
It's something we want to do consistently, work on consistently, and life changes, things change, people around change, and we have curveballs happening in life, and it's a habit really to kind of do those type of check-ins and awareness skills. Skills is really what it is.
Love it.
So inspiring yourself is also accomplishing maybe something that you didn't, because again, at the end of the day, it's all part of the reward system. And if we are like set a goal of doing a specific hike up a hill or something like that, a little bigger one, or other
Yeah.
things, and we actually do that, we inspire ourselves too by accomplishing things, because we do get the dopamine release. Obviously, it doesn't always have to be with that hard workout, but
Right. But like when you reach certain goals and then you put, a higher goal on top of that, and it's I mean, for me, it is actually a workout and lifting weights. And okay, well, I was able to go up in weights, and then a month from now I want to be able to do this. To me, that's like, when I'm doing that for myself, I think other people can see that and how it has an effect on different aspects of my life.
absolutely. And that's why I do always end of the year reviews, just to kind of also, see your accomplishments, that,
Yeah.
celebrate yourself, because that is self-inspiration as well. Knowing that, what, I set these goals, I reached these goals. Will there always be some that may need to, kind of revisit and change, but there's
Adjust.
always something to celebrate. And if you reflect on what you have done and celebrate, that is inspiring. That is part of the reward system. And that also is very important when we want to inspire others to acknowledge them, to acknowledge their accomplishments, maybe sometimes give them just a hug, give them the smile, give them a pat on the shoulder, or hey, good job,
Yeah.
whatever it will be. But simple things like that are extremely inspiring. So to others and for ourselves. And we're
Yeah.
utilizing again the reward system, how our brain is wired. And I always say, why not use it when it's there?
Well, I think that's also a really good reason to recognize who you're surrounding yourselves with, right?
Oh,
If you're surrounding yourself with people who are reaching goals or setting goals. And when they're inspiring you, that's going to help you as well. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are more negative Nellies, or that's not going to inspire you.
Yep.
And like we've said before, who you surround yourself with is helpful and changes your mitochondria, which is another conversation we'll have at a different time.
Yeah, but absolutely your community, your tribe, who is there
Hmm.
that is in alignment with you, but also
Hmm.
some that are, at a
Higher, for
different level
sure.
than you, that maybe in a professional life a step further, or in their personal life are more in the direction where you would like to be.
Mhm.
Not to compare yourself. Absolutely.
No, but
It's not about
this is why
comparing.
I love hanging out with other coaches and talking with other coaches, because it helps our brain chemistry. It helps us see other things, see things differently, and look to be like, okay, she did that, I can do that.
Yeah.
It's
So it's
I love hanging out with coaches.
it's not about comparing yourself and feeling guilty that, oh, I can't do
No,
that. That's not what it's for.
no,
What
no,
it's
no.
for is to get inspired when you keep that open mind and the growth mindset, and it's like, hey, yeah, you know what? She did it, I can't.
Hmm.
And it gives also generally other perspectives that you may have not seen yourself. So in a positive environment, it does, positivity rubs off, it's
Yeah,
contagious.
yeah. There's
And
negativity.
yep, and so yes, pick the people that you're hanging out with, that you surround yourself with. Super important. So inspiring, I think it's really, the brain needs change, it needs
Yeah.
activation, it does need change. Yes, sometimes you feel it doesn't need much, but you know what, for survival and to thrive and to be healthy and happy and
Yeah. So if you find yourself in a rut, or if you're saying to yourself, I don't need to change, I challenge that. I would challenge that and ask you to challenge that idea, because our, like we said, your brain needs to grow, and it needs change.
it needs change, it needs it for survival, otherwise it
It starts to decline.
decline. And that's also when you see all the seniors that are
Yep.
really inspiring, I think, are the ones that kept continuously
Yeah.
um
Educating themselves,
inspiring
doing their
themselves.
workouts, whatever, writing a
Yeah,
book, whatever it is that they're doing. I think it's amazing.
they're inspiring themselves, and that's why they live longer and they can
Yeah.
do more, and they're usually also overall healthier from a mental,
Yeah.
physical, and component. So we do need inspiration and self-inspiration, as well as inspiring others and being inspired by others. So go out and get inspired and inspire yourself. We got a bunch of different tools that we shared today, a couple strategies. So go out and inspire yourself and inspire others and make this world a better place.
Very nice.
That was
Bye.
nicely said, right?
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.